All right, welcome everybody to another episode of our Contentlayer series. We were just fooling around a little bit before we started the stream with packaging issues, and then we just decided we would start and let you all watch us struggle. So, yeah, I think basically what we're trying to do now is we're trying to figure out how we can test out the Contentlayer CLI and all the logic we've put together to see if things are working reasonably well. But uh, as we kind of alluded to at the end of our last stream, we're facing like a bunch of uh, JavaScript packaging issues between CJS and ESM and running scripts and things like that. So yeah, now you can watch us struggle.
Okay, so we need to ensure the config works, but we also need to think about like dependency clashes, like because it's highly likely that you're already using effect, or there is a high chance that someone might be using effect already inside of the same project.
Yeah,
So we kind of need to package in our version of effect into the library itself. So I'm not sure if you can use TS up in like a library mode, but we need to look into that. And then the CLI needs to be bundled up while still allowing the worker to work. So we'll need like a separate entry point for the worker. So to do that, we'll need to refactor core to allow you to specify the worker entry point for the document builder. So put it to document builder. We just need to move this into like a layer unwrap of some kind. And then move the worker entry point into some kind of configuration. Does core have config ready? Yeah. Oh, but
you know
that's the user level.
there is also the world where we just merge this all into one package because in theory, like the original reason why I had this all separated out was so to facilitate like different plugins. But um we don't really need to like have two separate packages. We could merge this into a single package.
Right.
And that would simplify at least the bundling issue between the two different packages. We wouldn't have to have like a library mode, but we would need to figure out how that would work for like the Contentlayer config.
Okay. Well, if we work with core, and just get rid of core. And then CLI, we just copy this stuff over. There's only two files in here. Great. And then we'll need to install CLI.
Oh yeah, we can remove the workspace import from the package JSON. Might actually have to blow away the PNPM lock.
And I have a feeling there's other things we need to fix. Maybe in the TS component. Paths. Base. Build. Immediate. Workspace. Okay. Packages or package JSON. So if we are going to move to TS up, need to edit. And TS up library. I guess in TS up we just need to have multiple entry points. I'm guessing that would like duplicate everything. Unless we had code splitting. Uh,
So it does
Okay.
support bundling multiple files just by specifying them all.
Yeah, you can specify entry points. So if we start a TS up dot config. Maybe if we copy one from build utils. TS up config. And then in here we would hit, I guess, all of our modules that we want to export. I wonder if I should try ESM only. See
You
what
try.
happens. Oh no, because we're building we're importing is common.js and the config builders. Because of the
They also
limitation
have,
with nodes eval thing. Splitting. It's also clear. I guess we could try splitting.
and we also want to output the DTS, right? There's like a
Yeah.
DTS option. Then there's also an option. Are we trying out only ESM right now? Or are we, because there is like an option to inject shims for CGS and ESM.
Shims. What does that mean?
You can fill in, there's on the left side there's like an inject CGS and ESM shims if you scroll down a little bit. Right there.
Cool. Maybe that will fix something. If we go to document builder. Let's run TS up and see what happens. Clean. Oops. Not clean. Clean.
Line.
This
I think it's
build.
I think yeah.
Of course. CLI.
Right. Excuse me. I think we're also gonna have to fix all the Contentlayer core imports, unfortunately. Actually, it should only be in one.
Yeah, it should only be this file. Config builder. Content cache. Then we'll need file extensions. Okay. And then in package.json, if we try and make everything, we try to put everything inside of the bundle to start with. Parcel watcher. needs to be external. Parcel watcher. There is an error.
Incremental can only be specified using tsconfig.
What is this? Conloga. But it's not listed in the file lists of project.
Their DTS build is failing.
Okay.
I think this is all tsconfig problems.
I think you can specify the tsconfig, maybe? Okay. Node this bin. Okay.
No, at least it is running the CLI.
So we get a bunch of colon.js.
I think the splitting is why we're getting all those chunks.
Yeah. Which is fun.
You probably don't need it, but yeah.
Well, we don't want each entry point to have everything.
That's true.
I'm just wondering if we can enable ESM2. Target. No. Config.
So there's the bundle formats section has some information about this. No, there's a section on the left. There you go. Yeah.
Format.
There's nothing like JavaScript packaging.
Nothing like it.
Truly unparalleled.
Yeah, we need to get the types in here somehow. We have to run TSC separately.
was gonna say we could just run TSC separately.
Okay, so now we have ESM and CoreJS. I guess we kind of want to flip those file extensions. Does that work? It's not running. Well, it's running. It's doing something.
Probably similar to that issue we were facing last time where it was just continuously failing, but we couldn't see where.
Probably failing trying to spin up the worker, I guess. But now everything is bundled. I have no idea where the worker code would be. This is fun.
I think you'd probably have to add some code to the actual package because this is
Yeah. Let me see. Base edge CG.
I assume it would be CGS since that's what we're loading, but
Big protocol worker. We don't want server, we want the client. Build. Try again. Uh,
Hmm.
console.log. Build. Maybe it's loading eSIM, then bundling that.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Sure is.
External code there. Of course. I removed the old actual running of it. So we revert that change. Uh, and then we'll need. Oh, we've already got a layer. Here, dot launch. Layer. Node. Runtime. Dot run main.
What we really need is to get Sebastian in here. Clean up this mess.
The janitor.
The effect janitor.
Yes, build JavaScript API gonna be bundled. Okay. Uh, progress.
Progress.
Happen.
I have no idea. We could be making a huge mess of things. We'd have no idea.
Hey.
Hey. Now that is progress.
It is. Alright, let's update this guy. I guess now that we're building, we need to copy in a package.json file.
Can the build do that? I mean, can TS up do that?
We already have a script for it in our build utils thingy, so maybe we just do that.
Fine.
So here we had been. Let's try add type module back and see what happens. So now we would run the CJS file. Node. This. Oh, I guess we can try run.
It put a stop to that really quick.
Okay. Hmm. Is there any way to like force the CommonJS file extensions in this guy? Because right now it's using our top level package.json here to determine like the file extensions.
I can look.
Here, I'll get the
You can change the output extension of files using the output extension option.
okay.
There's a
Scripts, copy package.json. Directory scripts. And we want bin to be Contentlayer bin no JS.
if you want to change the extensions in the content layer, I mean in the TS up config, there's a option there that says output extension on the left hand side.
Output extension.
There you go, scroll up a little bit. Right
Okay.
there.
Can you do it per format?
I think that's part of the thing. So format, this will generate your files to like
Yeah, format.
named.
I see. And then here we can add type module back. That's great. So we just need to do the package.json. we'll need to add the exports here.
Don't we have one of these that does the exports as well?
But it
One of-
uses a different layout formatting.
Hmm.
That's the bin. The main will be index.js. We need to do types at some point. And then we need to do the exports.
Do we test that our bin even works yet?
We need to run the script first. Scripts.
Hey.
And we just do a reset on no modules, get rid of that log change.
I liked that little log showing up, letting us know it was there.
No,
Unfortunately,
we just, was it?
just I've only got about like 10, 15 minutes left that I can stream.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
I guess if we just try to get the library side working,
Yeah.
and then call it a
So do we need to generate the export map, like that exports map, in the package JSON then? That we like the package JSON that we generate for the dist?
yeah, we do.
So could we just glob everything that's not index in our source directory and then just dump it into exports in whatever format we want?
Yeah, so we're gonna just do entry points equals region file system. It's on the paths. Entry points equals read directory source, and then see what we got. So if we filter out index and bin, I guess.
Yeah.
Filter, build and negate that. Great. Then we just need to turn those into exports. Codes, exports, record string, great. For codes, edge points. Now we need to name, export name equals import and require. Next, do I have some built in here? No. We also need to get types working.
Yeah, I kind of want to turn the DTS option back on and figure out what's wrong in our TS config.
Can you override
Although
the
it
TS
does-
config?
Although it
Because
does
that will be, we want to be using the build one, not the...
Yeah, it does say that.
It does say to use TSC.
Yeah. So we'll just use TSC, whatever.
So here you can specify the types. And then we can do like emit declaration only or something.
Yeah.
Declaration. But if we do import and default,
We could just follow the same format we have with effect.
import name dot mjs default.
We also
And
want to put the
then
types. Yeah.
types, and then I guess
We're probably just going to emit it to a name DTS file, right? Or are we going to put it under like a separate directory?
just I guess we could try emitting to DTS. And then we just need to add like the root level one.
We probably also do want the index file.
Okay. Okay, great. tsconfig dot build emit declaration only true. Out directory is going to be dis.dts.
Actually, the out directory, it's we don't even need to specify it. We just need the declaration there. Because the out dir is going to control, like, it would, The outer would only be relevant, I think, if we were compiling.
Right.
But it's not, so we could delete it even.
And then we want tsc tsconfig dot node this. Oh, yeah, that was good. It's got the source maps on, but I'm not sure if they will be correct. cli.d.ts.map. Yeah, maybe we'll just turn them off now.
Yeah.
Declaration map. False. Now build pipeline will be TS up. Then TSC, tsconfig.build, and then run the script.
We can actually simplify the TS configs a lot, as well as the structure of the project now. We don't need a mono repo or anything anymore. We can do that.
Might. I guess we might in the future, though. I'm not sure.
I guess if we have other sources that are just separate packages, maybe. But the TS configs can just be simplified to a single one, or
Yeah.
a much simpler setup.
So it's TS up. Yeah. Cool. And now we update our package.json build script. PM build.
I'm proud of us, Tim. We got somewhere.
We did.
It was really looking bleak there for a little while.
It's one of the hardest problems in JavaScript.
It really is.
Packaging and distribution. Right. CI.
Just want a snapshot, that's all.
Dependencies. Build. It's running. Great.
All right. Let's install it and see what happens.
And it should be self-contained now. Contentlayer config. Good. Export types correctly.
No. Oh, we have an error.
Cannot find the declaration file.
Do we set an index.d.ts?
We did.
But do we have to for
Maybe
the
we
dot?
need to edit the main as well. Yeah, we add these guys too.
Yeah.
Module types.
Can you just hard code it inside the node modules? Or are you just going to rebuild it?
Types. DTS. D.S. What was the other one? Module. Module.
Hmm.
No idea.
Well,
Let's see
TypeScript
if
might
it
not be working.
runs.
Let's see if it runs. Hey!
Yay!
It's running.
Let's.
Oh my god.
It's running. Yeah, I don't know what we need to add here. Main types. Module. What else is in here that we don't have? Exports. Maybe
Maybe
if
the
we
package
just
JSON.
don't add the subdirectory.
But
Let's see
isn't
what
it
happens.
in?
Was it?
But isn't it in? Isn't it in the subdirectory?
And then update this guy. Build. Where is that? Here. Try fix types.
These commit messages are 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
I think Mike has the best commit messages.
Does he?
Just whip, fix.
That's basically.
Sometimes
as
his
well.
commit messages are literally just try.
There's still a DTS folder in here.
It's probably just because it didn't.
Do I need to
Yeah, I think you need to
wipe
remove it.
out the
Yeah,
dot
wipe out the old one.
TS build info as well? Alright. Snapshot. Let's just try the snapshot anyway.
Why not?
Install. Yeah, that looks better. Contentlayer config. Let's
Come
go
on.
types.
Come on, types.
No.
No.
Well,
If you do a slash in there, does anything come up? I don't think anything will come up. That's interesting. So it knows like about the modules. Interesting. All right, well, I'm
Very
pretty
interesting.
satisfied that at least the thing runs.
Yeah, it runs. We just need to fix the old types.
Oh, there's no DTS in there.
Oh,
That'll do it.
maybe
There's
the
got to be something
file.
wrong.
Are we sitting like a files thing? Files.
Is there something we set in effect that we're not setting in this one? I always feel so like incredibly unintelligent when I'm doing anything related to JavaScript packaging.
Yeah. We'll solve it. Try solve it next time.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Seeing if there's like anything with the build, or maybe this.
Seems like the build. Was there any errors? No.
Got to be something related to. Oh wait. Yeah, look at the wait, go back into the effects package JSON. Look at the very bottom, like the built one,
Okay.
the code gen one. At the very bottom there, we're listing out all of the DTS for all of these files.
Types, versions.
I don't know if this is important, but maybe it's something we could tackle this the next time, or
Yeah. But they're not even being included in the.
no, I know. Maybe I wonder maybe if the package PR new snapshot thing is not working properly. But it feels like
Yeah, maybe.
maybe we should also like as a debugging thing, for CI, add like an ls of the dist directory as the final command. to our build script.
Oh yeah.
Wait. The tsconfig.build. Can you go back to the CI? No, actually, never mind. I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay, well, something to work on for the next time. But at least I'm at least happy that we got it running outside of our
Yeah, and
hermetically sealed environment.
And it must be spreading out the work I've put in as well. It's actually a lot faster without TS6.
Yeah, that is pretty
Cool.
quick. All right, everyone. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I'm sorry that we spent this entire hour doing basically package management stuff, but hopefully we're almost at the end, and next time we can like actually start testing out some features. So until next time, folks, thank you very much. Cheers.
See you guys.